Today we're going to do some personality tests to see where we measure up, see what type of people we are. You can follow along, do it yourselves if you want to. The links will be in the description as well if you want to do them yourself. And yeah, so enjoy. Alright, this is a personality test. I think I've taken this one before. This might be quite a long test, but we'll see. You regularly make new friends. Not really. It's been a while since I've made new friends, I guess. Spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. I would somewhat agree. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Not very often, I would say. I don't cry very often. You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. Not really. Usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. Yes. We'll go here. Social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. I'd say that's pretty normal for people. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. Yes. I very rarely start reading a new book before I finish the last one. So I would say that's very much like me. You're very sentimental. Not really. You like to organize tools like schedule. Yes, I do like schedules and lists. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. No. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. Not really. I don't ever really just walk up to a random person. You're not too interested in discussing various interpretations or an analysis of creatives' works. No, I disagree with that. I think it's interesting to see other people's point of view. You're more inclined to follow your head more than your heart. Slightly. You usually prefer just doing what you feel at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. I'm in the middle, probably more towards a routine. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on the people you meet. Yeah. I really only worry if it's like something important, like a job interview or something, but not just regular people. Usually. You enjoy participating in group activities? Yeah. You like books, movies. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending? Yes. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments? Not yet. I feel like when I'm successful and when my career's been fully developed, I'll be more like this, but for now, I'm really focused on my own accomplishment. I don't want to take away from anyone else's accomplishment, but I'm more focused on my own right now, I'd say. You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I did, but since I've found music and YouTube and Twitch, not so much. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worst. I used to, but not really anymore. You avoid leadership roles in group settings. Usually I do, if I'm honest. You're definitely not an artistic type of person. That is not true. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings? No, I don't think it would be a better place. No, I definitely disagree with that. Because if people relied strictly on rationale, then a lot would be wrong with the world. No, I don't agree with this one at all. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax? Yeah, most of the time. Because if you tend to push your chores until after, you relax. I find it's very difficult to actually relax and enjoy the time you are relaxing when you know you have other stuff to do. So that's why I usually like to do it first. Do you enjoy watching people argue? No. It depends. Like, properly argue? Not at all. I don't really understand why you would. So I'm just going to go there. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself most of the time. In public settings, like, I'm not necessarily bringing attention to myself, but then also, like, I'm not necessarily avoiding it. So I would be in the middle, especially because I've got this channel as well. This is very attention seeking in a way. Your mood can change very quickly. That really depends. I'd say I'm in the middle. No, I would disagree slightly. It would take something pretty upsetting to switch my mood quickly. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. That depends. If it's like a really simple task and I have to wait often for them, like if I'm waiting for an assignment or for something at work, I wouldn't get frustrated, but I might just do it myself. But I rarely lose patience. Very rarely. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. I used to, for sure, but now not so much. I have a very consistent daily schedule, I would say. So I don't say I would leave things at the last possible moment anymore. You always have been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. Yeah, of course. It's always interesting to know. I'd like to believe that you are born again. There was this Kyrgyzstan video which everyone should watch. I'll leave it in the description if I can find it, but it's the idea that you live everyone else's life after you die. So like, you have basically lived through everyone else's life and you have had the same life experiences, and therefore you would react the same way as anyone else would given the life that they have lived. I didn't explain it very well, but you should really go watch that video. I would highly recommend it. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. I tend to be on my own more often than not, so I would disagree. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. I would disagree with that strongly. I think theoretical conversations are really interesting. Really interesting. For example, the thought about what happens after death, that's super theoretical but interesting. Find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. Yes. Again, because of it's funny how it's all circling back to that video. I believe that if I had the same life experiences as a certain person, then I would act very similar, if not the exact same, to the way they're acting. So I do. Not necessarily. I'm a little more planned. It depends. If it's a small decision, then like I usually wait to make it because it's not that important. But if it's a big decision, no. I probably postpone finalizing decisions for a little while because I like to think over it properly and take into account everything. I don't want to just rush into decisions. So for as long as possible, I would agree to that. It's interesting that I'm not using the extremes very often. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. I used to do this more, but I don't think I second guess choices much very often anymore. So I would say I'm fairly confident in the choices I make nowadays. So I would agree. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. No. If I'm exhausted, I just tend to keep to myself and chill out, do the things that I enjoy. So, I mean, if it was happening, I would probably still go, but I wouldn't organize to do it myself. You enjoy going to art museums? I don't go very often. I probably would enjoy it for a little bit, but I probably wouldn't want to spend a long time there. So I'm going to be neutral on this one. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. I strongly disagree. I feel like I can easily understand where a person is coming from in terms of their feelings. You like to have a to-do list for each day? Not every day, but I do like to have a to-do list. I don't do it very often, so I'm going to go neutral, but I do like to do it sometimes. You rarely feel insecure. I would somewhat disagree with this. I do, like most people, would battle with some insecurities day to day, so probably slightly disagree. You're making phone calls? Yeah, I would say so. I don't really enjoy having phone calls, so I say I would avoid them to a slight degree, so we'll go there. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. I would disagree again, somewhat. Coming back to the Kyrgyzstan video again. We're up to 70%, so hopefully we can get this over with soon. Hopefully we can finish this soon and get the verdict. In your social circle, you are often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities, not very rarely. If your plans are uninterrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Oh, if your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. It depends what my plans were. I would say I'm right in the middle. It really depends on what the plans were. If it was important, then yeah, I'd get back on track. But if it wasn't, then I wouldn't be too bothered. You're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago? No. Everything happens for a reason. You rarely contemplate the reasons for humans' existence or the meanings of life. I do rarely contemplate it. But I do contemplate it, so I'll go somewhat agree. Your emotions control you more than you control them. It's very difficult to get an honest reading on how much you control your emotions, how much they control you, but I feel like I do have a fairly good hold on them. I'm gonna disagree. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it is completely their fault. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it's completely their fault. I do that. Because trying to make someone feel bad or look bad for doing something wrong isn't going to benefit in fixing the situation. Like, if they did something wrong, you want to do whatever you can to fix it as quickly and as simply as possible, and making them look bad just isn't doing that. So most of the time I would say I take great care if it is something serious. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized, consistent efforts. No, I'm fairly consistent nowadays. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take for them to feel disappointed in you. No, I used to, but not anymore. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. In the middle. Sometimes, some not. Like, it really depends. Like, I like collaboration, but also I like working myself as well. So let's say I'm in the middle. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time? No, because you can get a greater understanding of people, the world, and even yourself if you think about those sort of questions. I really do enjoy thinking and discussing philosophical topics. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres and quiet, intimate places? Yeah, I would hang out more in a bustling atmosphere if I was going to hang out somewhere. Like if I was going to go somewhere, I'd go somewhere interesting. It really depends. It really depends. I would say more to the bustling atmosphere than a quiet, intimate place. I know that contradicts with having alone time, but when I'm having alone time, it's alone time. It's going to be quiet and intimate anyway, if you would say, but I don't know. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. Yeah, most of the time. I feel like it's fairly easy to understand. You often feel overwhelmed? Nah. Not necessarily. Not overwhelmed. I feel like I have a fairly good grip on where things are going and how I'm feeling and what I'm thinking and all those sorts of things. Well, it hasn't always been the case, but I feel like I do feel like that now. That's a lot of feelings. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. That really depends on how familiar I am with the exercise, but I usually skip some steps. I'm not gonna lie. It depends what it is, but if I'm doing some things, I would skip some steps if I don't think they're necessary. If I'm doing something that I enjoy or something that's really important, I wouldn't skip any steps. Like if the steps were important, I wouldn't skip them, but you know. You're very intrigued by things labeled as controversial. Yeah. I think when there's a controversy, there's generally a side that you take, and when you understand the situation, you can then make a decision on what you agree with and what you don't, so you can get a better understanding of who you are. And yeah, that's just something that I enjoy doing, understanding who I am. Hence, like these personality tests, the human benchmark tests. I really do enjoy testing myself. My face is itchy from talking a lot. So I say I would be intrigued. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. That really depends. That assumes that that opportunity is going to be passed on to them. Like, if I got an opportunity to go somewhere and do something, I don't think I would pass it up, because there's always someone who needs something more than you. Like, if I was not hungry and someone offered me food, then I wouldn't take it because someone would appreciate it and need it more. But if it was an opportunity that, for example, met my skills, I'm not going to pass it up. Because, I mean, it would suit me. So, I mean, it really depends on what the opportunity is and whether it can be passed on to someone else. But assuming it could be, I would usually take it unless it wasn't going to benefit me to a substantial degree. So I would say slightly disagree. You struggle with deadlines? Slightly disagree. You feel confident that things will work out for you? 100%, 1000%, million% agree. The universe is conspiring for me, not against me. I'm an advocate. INFJA. Wow. So I'm 64% introverted, 63% intuitive, 64% feeling, which is crazy, 58% judging. I'm kind of in the middle here. 81% assertive. I think that's understandable. I would agree with that to a degree. A lot of those questions were very situational based, but generally I would agree. I feel like, maybe I'm 60-40 feeling and thinking. I'm definitely more introverted than extroverted. I'm definitely more intuitive. Feeling, yeah, I would agree with that. Judging, prospecting, I guess so. It's about 50-50, I probably agree with that. So yeah, I would say that's quite accurate. And finally, we are just going to do the test to see if I'm a psychopath. You rarely catch me making any plans, I'm far too spontaneous. I would more agree than disagree. I'm fairly spontaneous when it comes to plans. I have no problem cheating on my partner if I knew I could get away with it. No. No. If I got a better offer, I wouldn't mind cancelling long-standing plans. That depends what the plans were. Like, if my long-standing plans were to stay at home and a better offer was to go out and do something I'd enjoy doing, like, yeah, I would cancel. But like, I'm not gonna cancel on like my family or friends or anything like that necessarily, so I would disagree more. It really depends. I don't get bothered by seeing animals injured or in pain. To be honest, not really, because I grew up on a farm and I grew up seeing a lot of that, so I'm not necessarily bothered by it. I don't advocate it and I don't purposefully inflict pain, but I'm not necessarily bothered. It would be fun to drive fast cars, ride roller coasters, and go skydiving. Fast cars, yes. Ride roller coasters, yes. Skydiving, no. I would probably go skydiving eventually, so I would agree. I think it's okay to step over people to achieve my own ambitions. No. You can all win. You don't have to bring people down to win yourself. I'm very persuasive, and getting people to do what I want is a real talent of mine. The wording of this question is so bad. Like, it's literally trying to see if you're a psychopath or not, so I guess it's not that surprising, but I would say I'm fairly persuasive. Getting people to do what I want is kind of like keeping me from going all the way to agree, because it's not necessarily, like, I guess that's what persuading is, but like, it sounds worse than it actually is. Call me a psychopath, I don't care. My ability to make quick decisions means I would suit a dangerous job. I feel like, I was gonna say quick decisions would be bad in a dangerous job. Could get yourself in very you could get yourself in very dangerous situations by making quick decisions, but also you need quick decision making in dangerous situations. So yes and no. But I do think I'm calm under pressure, and I do think I make good decisions. So I think I would suit a dangerous job. I think I would. When the people around me are crumbling under pressure, I'm usually the one with a cool head. Yeah, I would agree with that. Click to agree. What do you want from me? If someone gets conned, who cares? They're asking for it. No. I'm rarely to blame for things going wrong. It's usually the fault of the people around me. That's not true. I always, like, if something goes wrong, there's always a part of blame that you can assign to yourself. Always. Guess I'll just put this in. Your score, 48%. For your conscience, though your conscience is in the right place, you also have a pragmatic streak and generally aren't afraid to do your own dirty work. You're no shrinking violet, but no daredevil either. You generally have a little trouble seeing things from another person's perspective, but at the same time are no pushover. Everything in moderation, including moderation, might sum up your approach to life. I mean, I agree with everything, but you have trouble seeing things from another person's perspective. So I'm pretty happy that I'm in the middle, to be honest. Huh, that's funny. Classical and jazz people tend to be less psychopathic, which is funny. And men are more psychopathic than women. People who read the Financial Times are way more psychopathic than anyone. That's funny. Alright, that's going to be it for today's video. I appreciate you all for watching. I hope this was enjoyable. A few little play along games. I thought it would be interesting to do. So, yeah, that's going to be it from today. It was a little bit messy today. I wasn't too sure what I was going to record, but I thought I'd get a video out nonetheless. I appreciate you all for coming, watching. Click the like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications to be notified next time I post a video. I stream live on Twitch as well, a couple of days a week when I don't upload. So, yeah, check that link out in the description. And that's going to be it for today. I appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, mother trucker.